which side you're on. I see you on this side. And
To your right.
my friend,
Hello.
this side? All right,
No,
I don't
I'll
know.
say doesn't matter.
And we've also got Annika Rudolph here, who is the social media manager on the current tour that I'm on, and she's on the same tour. As you can see on her hoodie, we're out with Skint on a European and UK run. And Connie is on vacay slash work trips in Costa Rica.
Workation. Yeah. You can see the
Workation.
palm trees in the background, and the bugs that keep bumping into my face. I'm like, go away.
Beautiful. I love it. We've had
Beautiful.
quite some challenges today with starting this recording because, as you can maybe tell, I'm at a venue where Skind is playing tonight. Annika is on the tour bus, on the coach bus, and Connie is in the jungle. So we had quite a few hiccups with the setup, but now we're ready to record. Yeah, welcome to the podcast, Annika. Thanks for coming, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Annika, so you're a social media manager, right? And that's what you're doing on this tour. But you also told me that you are into longboarding and you hosted the let me get that right, the European Longboard Open.
That is correct.
How do you go from hosting a longboard event to working in the music business? Walk us through it.
Let's say I'm asking myself that question basically on a daily basis. It's no, the thing is like I'm actually a trained event manager. This is how I also like jumped into the music industry. But my passion was always bringing people together. I think that was something that everything I did privately or in my job that was all about. And after like I realized that hopping into mosh pits is not like the healthiest hobby as well. I looked into sports what I could do because in the past I was playing handball but struggled with finding something else that is really giving me some dopamine release. And through like a coincidence, like I went surfing, realized that when you're landlocked in Germany, surfing is not really an option. I came across longboarding, and not just longboarding in terms of from going from A to B, but actually something that is called longboard dancing and freestyle, which is then skate tricks and steps combined on a board, which is heavily connected obviously to music then as well. Yeah, and somehow I realized that I can not only have a hobby, but when you are having like expertise in event industry and in marketing and stuff like that, you're just sitting there like, oh, we could do so many cool events. Why is nobody doing that? And then I just decided I'm just doing this on my own and just starting a community in this region because like this is like an international big thing, but especially my region, there was nobody, or let's say the communities were not that visible.
What is your region? Where are you
It is
from exactly?
Essen in the Ruhrgebiet.
Germany.
Yes, from Germany. Yeah, and I built up that community, realized that this is something I love a lot, that like after I like ended my apprenticeship as like an event manager and decided to go and jump into marketing and music marketing, that this is still something I really, really love, to bring people together and to combine different passions. Yeah, and then I don't know, somehow this just developed. We had like, due to COVID, of course COVID was a shit show, but it was a high for longboarding and lots of people just came together because that was like one of the only sports you could do on your own while still being groups. With this high, I started organizing events, and in 2023 we then organized the European Longboard Open, which was one of the biggest European events apparently. Like it was so nice to see that like so many people really wanted to come, saw what we did and really felt inspired by it. Yeah.
Are
That
you
is
still
crazy
doing
indeed.
events? Are you still doing events, or are
Um
you mainly doing music industry?
I'm mainly in the music industry due to various reasons. I had heavy injuries in the last years, basically destroyed my knee fully. So that was hard for me to like stay in the skate scene and at the same time also being injured. And it was like a toxic relationship. Like you were just seeing how the others was just having fun. I still wanted to be involved, but I also realized that my self-worth was so dependent on what I do. But it's technically still like this. I think you can also maybe relate to that. Especially there, I had to draw a line. Like it was the scene was also kind of dying out a bit because it was just heavy for a niche sport to really get recognized by the government, to get like venues to train in, because obviously with the German or European weather, it's going just to shit. So I'm still doing events, but more like on a local basis, and decided to focus fully on the music industry. Like I work part-time in the marketing agency, but this year actually decided to fully jump in and am now a full marketing freelancer in the industry.
That's scary. That's a very scary
It's
and big step,
fucking scary.
especially because and I we touched on that in the previous episodes with other people from the industry. Right now is a hard time. The post-COVID bubble kind of burst. There's not so much touring. It's a really tough time, and that can be really hard on you. And I think we all experience it, but especially as like a newbie, like a full-time newbie, I'm sure you have moments where you're like, what the fuck am I even doing? As we all do.
Absolutely. But at the same time, it just feels so right. It's insane. Like I have been doing this part-time for 5 years and just know that this is what I want to do for a living. And I think jumping into this was a decision that was maybe also on the paper for quite a time, because some people were just like during the year, like, hey, you should really do that, because like I parted ways with my agency in summer because like perspectives were just not matching like where we all wanted to go to. So after a month or something, there were actually a few friends and colleagues that were like, this is like, it makes so much sense that you go full freelance. And I was just sitting there in the beginning like, no. It's so, like you said, like it's so unstable. It's so much money you actually have to spend. But I did it. I applied for fundings and got them. So the start is not as rough as it was mostly for people that just had to. And now at the moment, it just feels so good. Like just being on tour at the moment, it's just the proof why I love what I do and why I really think and hope that this is just going the right way and it's just sustainable.
Have you ever, first off, kudos for going the freelancer route full on. It is scary. I did the same thing and I was like, how am I going to pay my rent and stuff? But then it all worked out. So I think if you do something that you really have a passion for and you know that you have skills, or if you don't have the full skill set, that shouldn't stop you because you're gonna develop yourself more and more. Kudos for that. That's a huge step. But have you ever thought of going back to starting events and hosting events? Is that like a thought that pops up sometimes? Like maybe I should do my own, I don't know, concert series, small festival. I don't know. Has that
Music
been a thought
events.
for you too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's say it pops up once in a while. The thing is, why I originally left the event path was that my apprenticeship was focused very much around marketing, and I realized that like when you work in a venue, customer is king. You're basically just there to make the experience for them the best, but you are so disconnected to the audience. Like I was in a apprenticeship in a big venue with 20,000 attendees, so sometimes you didn't even know like how the whole show would be like, because you were so focused on, I don't know, getting the right signage for the VIP meeting or whatnot. So I was at one point just bored by how I thought or I perceived the industry to be, that it was very corporate, like instead of like really learning how to make door deals or stuff like that, I just got sent out to look at the signage and stuff like that. So that was something where I was really like, yeah, maybe this is just not for me. And in marketing, I got the appreciation directly. But over the years, I definitely always came back to events. Like with the music industry itself, not so much. That was more something where I was like, okay, I really don't want to have the responsibility for so many people in the world we live in right now. Like it's so much that couldn't go wrong when it's your name on the papers. So that was definitely something where I drew a line. But besides that, like I cannot stop my brain from having ideas. Like whenever I have like an interesting conversation with somebody, I'm just sitting there like, oh, this could be a nice event. This could be something. Let's go.
Of
And I think this
course,
is
yeah.
like the heavy
Creative
thing,
mind.
like the creative mind curse. Like you're just sitting there, and instead of just enjoying yourself in a conversation or having a hobby, you're like, this could be an event. This could be something. And therefore, like I don't know where this is going to. Maybe like in a year or something, I'm sitting over with a small event or something. But on the other hand, it's like I'm not really like forcing it at the moment. I'm just going after whatever fits right. Because like I'm not that often on tour, but if I am, same thing. Like it just sparks so many ideas that I get so much energy from the environment, from the people, especially if the crew is great, which it is here. So it is a great reminder of, oh wow, music is really something that is giving you so much energy, but at the same time I also know how precious it is if you're only doing events. So I think the mix for me to be able to work from home remotely and doing stuff, and always like dipping into the event industry and doing stuff here and there, I think is for now a really good mix for me.
So, Annika, um, what, apart from like events that you've done, what does your job now as a freelance marketing manager on tour look like? What does your day look like? What do you actually do? Like, what's the task? What are the daily tasks you have on a tour like this?
So what I do is more than content creation. Like I think it's kind of a rare thing, because sometimes I'm also asking myself, what am I actually doing? Because it's like it's such a mix of time and project management for the artist. Like I am in charge of the content calendar, of the copywriting. I get basically the content from the videographers and photographers we have, and do content curation. So I see what is fitting our values, what is fitting the whole narrative and the story we want to tell. So I do, next to like small content creation stuff, small videos and stuff like that, this is basically the job of the content creators we have on tour. And I'm like the one that is just pulling all the red lines all together. On this tour, I'm checking in that the artist has nothing to do with her social media, that she is really focusing on the music, because this is something I realized, because I have ADHD, so I know how it is to like live with a mind that is just crazy all the time. And I work to have structures that really help me. And I realized that this is helping artists even more, that they really think, oh, I need to post here, I need to be on YouTube, I need to be blah, blah, blah. And especially artists that are touring, that are just tired of social media. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm tired of social media as well, fully. But it's like with the artists, when you really see how they're suffering, that they have to be online, this is where I step in and just take the pressure from them, and just am responsible for everything that is social media related. I write briefings for even the content creators, or like for whatever silly idea we have, and just check how we can make it fit into our world and what we do. Yeah, so that's the basic thing. And if it's not on tour, it is releases, touring, social media ads. Like, how can we be more visible? What ideas can we walk on to? And yeah, to sell more tickets, to make the release more visible. So it's like it's a mix of being the strategic content mind, but also just being there and do the project management with stuff that is usually like not so clear if this is a management thing, or if this is a content creator thing, like who is doing these things. So I'm basically the person in the middle structuring it all.
That's so interesting and so important nowadays to have someone to do that, because social media is everything. If you want to market your band, you need to be active. I think we need to hire you for a podcast, actually.
I had the
Let's
same
go.
thought. So
Sorry.
so it's you really have to dive deep. Sorry, guys. You really have to dive deep into what the artist is about, right? You really have to get a feeling, what do the fans want to see, because not every artist is the same, and it heavily differs from the genres. I would believe, and I don't know anything, but that's what I would think. Is that something that you can agree with, or do you see completely different?
No, absolutely. I think my approach is very niche, because I want to be as deeply involved into the project as I can be. Like usually when I work with people, they automatically become friends, because this is just like how it works. Like you really need to be close. It's like it's almost a management position as well, because I don't want to work with 20 artists. Like this would just not fit. Like I really want to just work with selected artists where I just know I can fully dive in there, and it's more like an assistant management position where I can really mix like what their personal views are and what the goals management has, and be the voice in the middle, and really see like how we can make that happen. Because for example, like sometimes I have the feeling that if a band just has a videographer with them, they are either just there for a few days, so they don't know how to push into like the comfort zone of somebody, or when you should not do that. Like we, for example, of this tour, we have really intense meetups of the fans and the artists where mental health is a big topic. It's really sensible. So when the artist is coming back, like she really needs to calm down. Like she really is in such a sensible spot because those were sometimes horrible stories the fans share with her from their personal life and how like her music helped them overcome it. I'm not asking her for TikTok then, that we should
Yeah.
like shoot something. And this is something where I think I can judge it quite well because I'm so involved in all of it. While sometimes when a band just has like for one day or something, a videographer with them, they either come back and were not able to shoot anything on the briefing at all because they were not sure like when to push, or they overstepped the boundary because they didn't know that something like this can happen.
I have
So yeah,
definitely seen that happen with content people on tour or photographers or videographers where I was like, oh, not the right moment, dude. It just shows
yes,
how when you're empathetic and emotionally intelligent, you're like you're way better fit for a tour. And that goes for every position probably, but
that's true. Yeah.
especially when you work so closely with the artist. Yeah. So how big is your roster right now of artists?
At the at the moment, I'm only working with two bands on a monthly basis. Besides that, whatever fits in. Like before that, since it was part time, I was not really checking in what else I could do. So at the moment, I'm only focusing on those two. And besides that, like help a few festivals with their social media ads and just talk to some labels if they want and need support. So there's a lot in the making, let's say like this. But besides that, I think I'm aiming really just for 4 or 5 bands maximum because then I can really guarantee the quality of my work. I really want to be really in the whole system in every management call you have. And this is obviously also something that is not fitting every band. Like don't get me wrong, like I would love to work with newcomers, but mostly it's like they expect social media to solve their branding, to solve their path, to create goals for them. But while this is actually something they need to do on their own. And this is something I struggled with, like, oh, I'm still struggling with my positioning because they need to do the work first. And once they know like where to go, this is where I can come in and help and support. But mostly it's a really tricky situation because those bands then also don't have budget in the beginning. And I think with social media, the problem is there's so much that comes into it that you really don't see how much work goes into it. You just see the posts and like, even if you have a videographer with you, it's like, it's easy to just say, hey, she just gets Dropbox folder and it's just posting stuff. But it's like, you really need to look at like 7 accounts, community management, copywriting, when to do what text overlays it should be. There is so much that comes together. So I think this is definitely something I'm still kind of struggling with because this is not growing from, hi, I'm your perfect social media manager, because I think it's always different. There's always people that can match the artists, and I'm not a perfect fit for everybody. Absolutely not. Yeah, but I'm still building that up at the moment. So the roster's kind of small, but selected, and I like it like this at the moment. Thanks.
So, Annika, oh, sorry. I was gonna dip. I was gonna dip a little bit into things that we usually also talk about, which is like fun and crazy tour stories. And since we've never had someone who does like social media and things like that, I'm sure you have some stuff to share. You don't have to like name names or anything, but like things that happen, especially when you like take care of the band accounts, because sometimes fans can get really close to the people they work with, they
Yeah,
follow, right? Do you have any like
yes. I think
things?
I have a few. I think one thing I struggle with so much is like, I mean, I don't drink alcohol. Like I really look into my sleeping schedule that I'm always like there. But when you are like this creative hive mind, whatever, you have the feeling that you need to be always online. So it's hard to draw the line of when you are in your bed bunk and you're just a private person. And the number of times I almost posted in the wrong accounts, or I did and deleted it immediately so nobody saw it. Oh my God, it's insane. Like, this is really something I struggle with so much because the like, I work with content planning tools, but I also have to post manually. And sometimes it's just mixing up. And like, this heart attack you get when you're just in the app and you see the wrong image of a band on another band's account. What the actual fuck? That happened once, and since then I'm like so careful. But
Did someone catch
it's
you?
just on one phone. You don't have work. No, maybe now I outed myself, so maybe no. But it's like, it's sometimes so fucked up. Like, when you are, especially on tour, I find it so hard to find time to focus work because sometimes I'm really good in like multifunctional stuff. Like, I can have a conversation at the same time work. But once I just like, yeah, this is basically how it happened. Like, I just talked to somebody, yeah, we should do that. Clicked on posting, and then I saw the image, and I think it was online just for 5 seconds. But this gives me still nightmares. What the fuck? It's like, when you are a perfectionist, I think this is something most people don't see. Or just on this tour, it happened as well. I mean, this is like, it should be authentic. So I like to also share mistakes. Like, we have been to Utrecht in the Netherlands, and I just came back from Eindhoven because I was at a longboarding event. And in the end of the day, when I posted like the thank you post, I posted thank you Eindhoven. So it was the wrong fucking city. Nobody noticed. The videographer reposted it. Nobody noticed. And then the artist came to me the next day in the morning like, look, this is the wrong city. Now she's sitting there. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I mean, but that was really a nice approach because, like, yes, this is stuff that haunts me and it's really annoying. But it just happens, and I'm really happy to be on a tour or to also have people like bands I work with that also see this as not the worst thing that could happen. Of course, there are some things that are that cannot happen twice. Like, this is not going to happen to me twice. Like, it's something where you're just like, oh, fuck my life. Of course, you're not doing that on purpose. But it was just so funny that, like, another content creator was reposting it. Even the fans didn't see it. And it was like, what is even wrong with all of us that we're just like so in our like hamster wheel and don't see stuff like this. But yeah, this is the perfect example where I really also want to work from home because there I have my like 2 screens. I have my setup. I know exactly what to do.
You
Because on
could do
tour it's
this
just like
remote,
sometimes
right?
hard.
You
I
could
fully
do
can
this
do this
remote.
remote, but it's tough. It's really tough because in the end, you're just sitting there in the evening. You don't know, like, when you get the content from the content creator, you don't know how the artist is doing. You don't know what possibilities would be there at the event, what you could shoot. Because usually it's then like when you're in the release phase, it's like, okay, so what do we have? Where's the content from tour? And you cannot really brief it that much in advance. You really need to be at the site, see what's possible, where there's like a cool line. And there are a few content creators that can really do it. And we work together quite some time, so it's easy to say, hey, can you just give me this folder with these pictures you did for this band? I would love to have this as well. But like I said earlier, like, it's sometimes, I really see this, like, it's so valuable that I can be the person in the middle grabbing the artist and being like, hey, can we do that? It really just takes 10 seconds. So that the videographer is like a stranger sometimes is not in that weird position, and therefore I can also kind of check in which direction I want to lead the content to. But going back to like stories, I think one story I had in the beginning on my, like, it was not even my first tour, it was my first experience on the Nightliner. It's like, and I think there's something you might relate to as well. I was in Munich with a one-time project, and a tour manager, a friend of mine, was like, hey, we're in the city, come over, you can just come for a few drinks. And he convinced me in the evening, instead of taking my flight back, to just go back with the Nightliner with them because they were passing my city. And I, back in the day, was never in the Nightliner, so my eyes were like, oh my God, I can be in the Nightliner, we will have the best time of our lives. Yeah, long story short, I did a
You
massive
pooped on the
mistake.
bus. I'm sorry.
I know
That
someone
happened
that
as
did
well
that.
at one time,
Oh
and I also did. And no, nobody's telling you the rules, dude. Like, this is
You
the
pooped
thing.
on the
Like,
bus?
not there, but at one tour I was with, and it was like, shit, nobody told me. How the
I
fuck should
just
you
blame it
know
on
if
somebody
nobody does it?
else. Blame it on somebody else.
I
no!
mean,
You have balls to
nobody
admit it.
noticed, so that's fine. It's fine. But that's the thing. That's one of the reasons I also like stopped drinking alcohol, because I just realized on like a moving vehicle, it's just like, it's so awful if you then have a hangover. You don't know, like my body's really sensitive to stress. So that's why I kind of stopped it. But like with this tour, I was just there to like check in with them. Like my friend just invited me over, was like, hey, can you come with us in the tour bus? And he basically just placed me in the backstage, and it was like a full male crew. He did say nothing, basically just, yeah, you have a drink, goodbye. So there was not really room, because this was obviously also not my tour. I was not there to work. I was just there as a friend. But I was still already working in the music industry. So I was just sitting there, not really having an entrance point. So I was just doom scrolling on my phone and feeling so awkward that I also helped like the merchandiser, who was a friend of mine, that I just spotted then. And I helped her out of awkwardness because I didn't know what to do. And the thing is, like, I saw how the guys were watching me, like, who the fuck is this? And this typical sexism. In the end, it's nothing else than sexism. Like, what is this woman doing on the tour? Who is this? Like, whose bed bunk is she sharing with tonight? And then I did something I'm really proud of in the end, because like I just saw that one of the guys was looking at me like this, and I just told him like, hey, I just want to tell you, I'm just a friend. I'm just here. I'm not here to fuck any of you. There's that. And that was such a nice moment, because he was just looking at me and was like, I'm so sorry, but this is actually really what I thought, and I would love to discuss with you why that is and why we as men are behaving like this. And that was insane, because like we talked for 2 hours about this, and in the end it was a really nice ride back, because like it was my first experience with the nightliner, and I did the mistake of drinking quite much in the bus, because I thought, oh yeah, we will have a party, and of course everybody went to sleep at 10. So you're just sitting there and it's like, this is the nice experience of nightlining. Cool, amazing. But just this conversation, no, not that good at all. And it's so like, it's normal. It's just everybody has to take care of themselves. But like this conversation we had before was really an eye opener for me, that this is something like that I found so strange, that as a woman, it doesn't matter if you have a function on tour and or not, you're just perceived as a threat
You're
or something
always
in the
being
beginning.
side-eyed. You're always being looked at. You're always, and 99% of the men would not admit to be like, oh yeah, I used to be in a work like, hey, why not? They would be like, I would never do that or whatever. But it is definitely the vibe to get a lot of times, and it's something you really have to live with and ignore. You can't change a whole gender. You can't change.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's good that every now and then you realize there's some guys out there who are actually aware of the situation and who actually acknowledge the fact that this is something we have to live with and they will never really understand what it's like.
Yes, fully. And I think in this case, it was just a misunderstanding. Like it was just something where the tour manager just could have said 2 sentences and it would have been solved. But after that, when I was then also working on tour, I really appreciated to see, okay, the tours I was with, it was never about the gender. It was just good vibes. It's just about like, you can just be there fully unmasking, just being you. And that's something I really, really appreciate, that it's like really like roommates, just sharing good time and apparently working together as well. But I know that of course there are crews out there where, or just people out there that still have big issues with like this shift, like how you're being perceived as a woman. But I'm really happy that in the tours I worked with, that was never a thing.
I have to, especially with our crew right now, it's super sweet. Everybody's really nice. It feels a lot like roommates that just
Yeah.
hang out on the bus. But I also had a situation where I was the only female on the whole bill. Like on out of every band, out of every crew, I was the only female. And that was still a very good tour, surprisingly. Because I think that everybody would expect, oof, you're the only girl, you're gonna be like fucking elbowed here, blah 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 there. That it wasn't the case at all. There was some people that treated me, maybe they just would have treated me the same way if I was a guy or not, I don't know. But most of them absolutely cool. And if I said, hey, we're doing this, we're not doing that, they just went with it. So I
I'm
appreciate
sorry.
that too.
I'm sorry if it's really getting loud right now, but it just started pissing rain here.
It's the tropical rain.
Oh, it's the
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a
rain.
tropical
We
rain.
it's the tropical rain. We have to come to an end slowly anyways, because it's gonna get loud here too. We're gonna do a little sound check, I think maybe soon. But I do have another question for you, Annika.
Yes.
Connie and I were big foodies. We love food and food loves us. And do you have a favorite tour snack? Like one, I know what's the are you a Hagelslag person? Is that something
I
you like too?
I was the Hageslag provider.
She was the
But
dealer. So Hagelslag is like chocolate shavings that you can buy, and it's like the thing in the Netherlands, and everybody on our crew and on our tour was like, "Can you get me 2 boxes of the Hagelslag, please?" So me neither. You can get it in all different kinds of chocolate, light, dark, everything. But what's your favorite tour snack, Annika? Do you have something like the spot on thing that you crave?
I think mostly it's just small stuff because, like, due to my ADHD medication, I struggle to eat either way. So I'm just happy to eat something. So in the backstage, it's mostly just a slice of cheese, like just the small and easy stuff. Yeah, it's like if I just eat something, I'm happy. But what I'm always having with me is like this little kid smoothies, like these quetchies they are called. And even though it's a lot of plastic, I realized that this is a compromise I need to make to just be fueled with something. So I would say, like, yeah, snack wise, it's everything that is rather a small portion that I can just easily get. So either it's like a full drink meal or whatnot, or that slice of cheese, or just some snacks that are just easily gone like this. That would be it. Because like bigger meals, it's mostly like when you're under stress, and even on travel or off days, like for social media or for management, they are not off days. Like you're basically just working on the rest that has been pushed and delayed to the next day. So even there, I struggle to just eat proper meals. So I think the the small portions are always working.
I love that. You might as well be a TM or a merch person. I'm just saying because we have the same. Connie will agree. We have the same issues. If you get food at all, it's great.
So,
I
lastly,
think yeah, Connie.
Annika, before we cut this off, we need you to give us one road song to send us off with. What's your tour jam song that makes you happy on the road?
My road song. I think really, really recently it's okay by Enter Shikari because they just shadow dropped their new album, and I had the insane opportunity to go to the release show because we had our off day in Manchester. So I have been just listening to that song with tears in my eyes on the ferry, being like, what the fuck is my life actually? So that would be it.
That's what we'll put on the playlist.
What's the name of the song?
I I think it's okay. It's okay is the song. I listened to it quite a while. Let me check. Because the album is so new, I might confuse the title. But it
It's
should
fine.
be.
We'll
It's
yeah,
okay.
send it to us. It's okay. Okay, it's okay.
All right.
Yes, it is.
Okay. We'll put
Okay.
it on the list. Annika, thank you so much for joining us on,
Hey, thanks for having
especially
me.
on a show day. I know it's stressful to find a spot that's more or less quiet, even though there's people running around all the time.
But we
Um,
managed.
th- we did. Thank you so much, and thank you, Connie, for taking your time. We did it, and now Connie will get some brekkie. We will get some dinner, maybe, and
Think
then
so.
get ready to boogie. Thank you
Yay.
guys so much. And we'll see you on the next episode. And
Thanks a
we're
lot.
on YouTube now. We are on YouTube. If you don't
Oh my
like
god, yes.
this platform or another platform, you can check us out on YouTube.
Like,
All
subscribe,
right.
comment, do all the things.
Support.
Thank
Yes, yes,
you.
yes. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.